Dear students, hope so everyone is well. So today we are going to discuss NTA NEET test number 58 physics solution. Here is the first question. An X-ray tube produces a continuous spectrum of radiation with its shortest wavelength of 45 into 10 the power minus 2 angstrom. The maximum energy of photon in the radiation in electron volt. Okay, first we will calculate in volt, after that divided by electron. So we can calculate in the electron volt. Here energy can be defined as E is equal to h nu, where nu is nothing but c by lambda. Therefore energy is equal to hc upon lambda. Everything is given, that Planck's constant h 6.62 into 10 the power minus 34, speed of light 3 into 10 the power 8 meter per second, and the value of lambda is given 45 into 10 the power minus 2 angstrom, so multiplied by minus 10 the power minus 10. Okay, 10 the power minus 10 meter, because 1 angstrom is equal to 10 the power minus 10 meter. Now multiply all these value, hence E will be equal to 6.62. Look, 3 ones are 3, 3 ones are 3, 3 fives are 45. So 6.652 divided by 15 into 10 the power minus 34, and this one is plus 8, minus 2 minus 10 minus 12, and when it will goes up it will be plus 12. Okay, hence 15 ones are 15, 15 for the 60, 15 for the 60, 0.4 and again 0.4. Therefore 0.4420 and minus 14 into 10 the power minus 14 volt. Now we have to calculate energy in electron volt. Therefore we will multiply 1.6. Okay, therefore 0.44 into 10 the power minus 14 electron volt. Electron means multiplied by electron and divided by electron. Hence divided by 1 electron, and value of an electron is 10 the power minus 19. Okay, after solving this we will get E is equal to 27,500 electron volt. This is the correct answer. So here is the first option is correct. Now moving towards the next question. In the next question we have 2 point masses connected by an ideal string are placed on a smooth horizontal surface as shown in the diagram. Okay, 10 kg and 5 kg are connected. Sharp impulse of 10 kilogram meter per second is given to the 5 kilogram mass. The velocity of the 10 kilogram mass will be. Here we know that the value of impulse. Okay, so impulse can be defined as change in the momentum. Therefore second option, impulse can be defined change in momentum. Okay, change in momentum, and change in momentum is nothing but delta p, and delta p can be defined as m into v. Okay, now here you can see that 10, 5 and making an angle 60 degree. Okay, so here you can say that this is the vector and direction is this one is the opposite angle 60. Therefore 10 kilogram force applied making an angle 60 degree. Okay, so delta p is equal to mv, and also we know that p is equal to force into time. Therefore the total mass means 10 kg and 5 kg making with velocity v. Therefore mv delta p is nothing but 10 plus 5 into v. Now what about the impulse? Impulse is a kind of force. So force is applied making an angle 60 degree. Okay, here you can see making an angle 60 degree. Therefore 10 into cos 60, 10 into cos 60 degree is equal to 10 plus 5 into velocity. Cos 60 degree means 1 by 2. Hence 10 into 1 by 2 is equal to 15 into velocity. Therefore 5 and 3. Hence velocity is equal to 1 by 3 meter per second. Is there any option? B option is correct. Okay. Now moving towards next question. In the next question we have a car turns a corner on a slippery road at a constant speed of 10 meter per second. If the coefficient of friction is 0.5, the minimum radius of the arc in meter in which the car turns is. Okay. Here we have to find out radius. Okay. We know that maximum velocity which can be possible, maximum velocity for the turning is nothing but mu r g. Okay, square both side, v square is equal to mu r g, hence radius will be equal to v square upon mu into g. Okay, what is given? That velocity is 10 meter per second, friction is 0.5, g is 9.8. After putting all these values, 10 square means 10 into 10 divided by 0. Sorry, 10 into 10 divided by 0.5 into, for easier, take g is equal to 10. Okay, 10 10 100 divided by 20. Therefore the value of r is 20 meter. Okay, therefore first option is the correct option. In the next question we have a temperature of 30 degrees Celsius, the susceptibility of a paramagnetic material is found to be X. Its susceptibility at 333 degrees Celsius is. Okay. First thing, we have to change this value in Kelvin, and we know that the susceptibility defined by chi is inversely proportional to its temperature. Therefore temperature T1 is equal to 30 degrees Celsius, which will be equal to added by 273, which will be equal to 303 Kelvin. T2 is nothing but 333 degrees Celsius, will be equal to 606 Kelvin. Hence chi 1 upon chi 2 will be equal to T2 upon T1. Okay. Now we have to calculate paramagnetic susceptibility at 333 degrees Celsius. Therefore the value of chi 2 is equal to chi 1 T1 upon T2. Hence the value of chi 1 is given that only chi. Okay, here you can see this one is given that found chi. Hence chi T1 is given that 303 and divided by 606 divided by 1 by 2. Therefore chi 2 is equal to 0.5 chi. Okay, if you will increase the temperature up to 333 degrees Celsius, means 606 Kelvin, then the magnetic or susceptibility will be half. Therefore the correct answer is A. What in the next question we have? In the next question we have a wire made of aluminium having resistivity rho is equal to 2.8 into 10 to the power minus 8 ohm meter with a circular cross section and has a radius of 2 into 10 to the power minus 3 meter. A current of 5 ampere flows through the wire. If the voltage difference between the ends is 1 volt, the length of the wire in meter is. Okay, here we know that specific resistance can be defined as R is equal to rho L upon A, where rho is the resistivity, L is the length, A is the cross-sectional area, and for the cross-sectional area A is equal to pi R square. Because here you can see this given is not area, and the given is radius. Okay, 2 into 10 to the power minus 3 meter, and also a current is flowing. Now the length therefore L is equal to, therefore L is equal to R and area is pi R square. Resistivity is rho. Rho, the value of rho is also given that. Okay, now calculate L. So if you want to calculate the L, what is not given here, resistance is not given here. Okay, so resistance, if resistance is not given here, then we know that V is equal to IR, R is equal to V upon I. Hence L is equal to V upon I pi R square divided by rho. Now what is given, that 1 volt 5 ampere. Okay, therefore 1 volt divided by 5, the value of pi means 22 by 7. R square means 2 into 10 the power minus 3, hence 4 into 10 the power minus 6, and divided by resistivity 2.8 into 10 the power minus 8. Okay, now if we will solve all these, then you will get 89.7 meter length. Okay, here is the correct answer is approximately 90 meter. Okay, so option C is correct. What is the next question? In the next question we have the power dissipated in the adjacent circuit is. Okay, in the adjacent circuit we have to calculate power. So the average power can be defined as, Vrms divided by Z square and multiplied by R. The value of Vrms will always be equal to, the correct answer is given in V naught. So V naught upon root 2. This is the condition for the root mean square voltage. Now here we don't know Z. Okay, therefore the Z can be defined as, which circuit is given. Okay, so here Z is nothing but Xc capacitance minus XL inductance square plus R square. Now Xc is given that RXL is equal to 3R, hence Xc R, okay, minus 3R का whole square plus R square. So R minus 3R means 2 minus 2R का square. So it will be equal to 4R square plus R square will be equal to under root 5R. Therefore the value of Z is under root 5R. Hence P will be equal to Vrms, Z square. Here you can say Z square is equal to 5R square. Therefore Vrms is nothing but V naught root 2y, and square means V naught upon 2. Therefore V naught square upon 2. Z square means into 5R square and multiplied by R. R cancel, divided by 10. Hence P is equal to 1 by 10 V naught square divided by R. Is there any correct answer? The option D is correct. Okay. What in the next question? In the next question we have two concentric conducting spheres of radii R1 and R2, which is R2 is greater than R1, carry electric charges of plus Q and minus Q. So here is the inner one will be plus Q and the outer one will be minus Q respectively. The region between the sphere is filled with two insulating layers of dielectric constant epsilon 1 and epsilon 2 and width d1 d2 respectively. Variation of the potential and electric field with radial distance from O is given. Select the correct one. Assume that at R2 is equal to 0. Potential at R2 is equal to 0. First thing you have to remember that the electric field intensity outside the concentric sphere, and inside the concentric sphere will be 0. Here is two things is given, that this one is the epsilon 1 and this one is the epsilon 2, means electric field somewhere outside the here is 0, okay, means outside the conducting sphere, and also if less than means in this region, whole this region, electric field will also be 0. So you can say that if if suppose that r, if r is less than r1, means if you want to calculate the electric field intensity less than r1 or greater than, sorry, uh, or greater than r2, means outside the conducting sphere, electric field will be 0. So electric field intensity can be lying in this region and in this region. Therefore the first condition is given, that electric field intensity, you can say that if r is greater than, first condition is greater than, must be r1, and also less than r1 plus d1, means in this condition, and also less than r1 plus d1, then the electric field intensity, will be equal to plus charge, okay, then the electric field intensity will be q upon 4 pi epsilon, okay, here is the epsilon 1, dielectric constant is given, that epsilon 1 and the value of r square, where the region of r is greater than r1 and less than r1 plus d1. Now r can be greater than, now the second condition, r can be greater than r1 plus d1, what, r1 plus d1, but must be less than r2, means we are talking about this region, where greater than r1 plus d1 means r is lie between r plus d2, okay. In this case electric field will be equal to q upon 4 pi epsilon 2 r square, and in the next condition or the rest condition, electric field intensity will be 0. Now look here, what is given, that electric field at r1 plus d1 and at r2, the potential is same, but if what we know, that potential can be defined as minus of integration E dot dr, and here we can say that E or electric field intensity is inversely proportional to epsilon 1, okay. Here they are given two insulating layers, epsilon 1 and epsilon 2 with respectively. So if d1 and d2, we are increasing d1 and d2, means r square is inversely proportional to r1 plus d1. So if you will increase the distance, then the electric potential must be decreases, but here you can say that electric potential is constant, so first option is wrong. Now what about the second condition? In the second condition, means B option, V is equal to E dot dr minus dr, and we know that electric field intensity inside the charge is 0. Therefore here electric field intensity is not even 0. Rest of the condition can be correct, but the first condition is wrong, therefore this one is also wrong. Now moving toward the C option. Now here V is equal to minus E dot dr will be equal to 0, but for which region? For infinite, the value, if we are going infinite to r, it will be equal to 0. Therefore this one is the correct. Now looking at r1 means if we are at this position, electric potential will be higher. If we are reaching at this position, means r1 plus d1, electric potential will be decreases. At r2 means at this position, look at this, at r2 is equal to 0, V is 0. Therefore this option is correct. In the D option, this one is also wrong. Okay, so C option is correct. Two identical satellites are moving around the Earth in circular orbits at height 3r and r respectively, where r is the radius, where r is the radius of the Earth. The ratio of kinetic energies is, so kinetic energy can be defined as E kinetic energy is nothing but gm upon for any height r plus h, where r is the radius of the Earth, m is the mass of the Earth, m is the satellite of the mass of the satellite. Okay, therefore gm upon for the first satellite, that is h is equal to 3r, hence r plus 3r ek1. Therefore ek1 will be equal to gmem upon 4r. In the same way, ek2 kinetic energy of the second satellite will be equal to gmem divided by r plus height is given that r. Okay, hence r plus r 2r. Now ek1 divided by ek2 will be equal to gmem divided by 4r into gmem divided by 2r means 2. R cancel out, gmem cancel out, 2 1s are 2, 2 to the 4, hence 1 is to 2. Therefore the correct answer is B, 1 is to 2. Question: a body cools from 50 degrees Celsius to 40 degrees Celsius in 5 minutes. Okay, so here the cooling is means theta 1 to theta 2 in 5 minutes. Its temperature comes down to 33.33 degrees Celsius in next 5 minutes. So in the next 5 minutes, this one will be theta 1 and this one will be theta 2. Applying the Newton's law of cooling, we know that log theta 2 minus surrounding temperature theta naught divided by theta 1 minus theta naught will be equal to minus kt. In the first case, theta 2 will be equal to 40 degrees Celsius, theta 1 will be equal to 50 degrees Celsius, and t is equal to 5 minutes. Okay, hence log theta 2 means 40 minus theta naught divided by theta 1 means 50 minus theta naught will be equal to minus k into 5. This is the equation 1. For next 5 minutes, in the next 5 minutes, theta 1 will be 40 degrees Celsius, theta 2 will be 33.33 degrees Celsius. Okay, therefore log theta 2 means 33.33 minus theta naught divided by theta 1 means 40 minus theta naught will be equal to minus k into 5. This is the equation 2. Minus k into 5, minus k into 5. Therefore we can equate equation 1 and 2 taking the log, antilog both side. Hence we get 40 minus theta naught divided by 50 minus theta naught will be equal to 33.33 minus theta naught divided by 40 minus theta naught. Okay, on solving this value we will get theta naught is equal to approximately 19.95 degrees Celsius, which will be equal to approximately 20 degrees Celsius. Hence the temperature of surrounding is 20 degrees Celsius. In the next question, when water is converted into ice, its entropy. So in the case of entropy, you can say that the entropy is a measure of disorder. So that if you are going into ice from means water to ice, then disorder will be decreases. If disorder is decreasing means entropy is also decreasing. Hence correct answer is B. Question: at the same instant, two boys throws a ball A and B from position shown with a speed v0 and kv0 respectively. Therefore, velocity is v0 and kv0 respectively. K is constant. What is the value of K? Balls will collide. So when ball will collide, relevant data is available in the figure. So when ball is collide means velocity of this component and velocity of this component must be equal. So suppose that velocity of this component is uxa and velocity of this component is uxb. Okay, uxb. Hence uxb must be equal to uxa, and we know that velocity of the horizontal component, that is ux, is equal to u, that is initial velocity, u cos theta. Okay, but here you can say this one is making an angle theta with 90 plus theta. Okay, therefore uxb, therefore uxv will be equal to initial velocity v naught cos theta means cos 90 plus theta, cos 90 plus theta means sin theta 2. What about uxa? The ux is making an angle with horizontal component, that is theta 1, hence v naught sin theta 1, and initial velocity is kv naught, equating both we will get v naught sin theta 2 will be equal to kv naught cos theta 1. V naught cancel out, hence k will be equal to sin theta 2 upon cos theta 1. So sin theta 2 upon cos theta 1, B option is the correct one. In the next question, what is saying that for the system shown in the figure, two inclined plane is fixed, all the pulleys are light and friction is absent everywhere, the tension in the string will be equal to. Okay, what will be the tension in the string? Tension in the string, you can say this is the tension in the string T, and the component, this one is the mg sin theta, because this one is mg cos theta. Okay, so mg sin theta minus t, mg sin theta minus t will be equal to mass into acceleration. So from here, from the figure, we can say mg sin theta minus t will be equal to mass into acceleration. But what, according to the question, t is nothing but equal to mass into acceleration. Therefore t, due to light weight, t is equal to mass into acceleration. Hence mg sin theta minus t will be equal to t. Therefore mg sin theta will be equal to 2t. Hence the value of t is equal to 1 upon 2 mg sin theta. 1 upon 2 mg sin theta. Correct answer is C. Moving towards next question, which of the following plot is correct about Maxwell speed distribution law? Okay, so you have to remember one thing, that most probable speed will be the maximum. So the most probable speed is here is not maximum, therefore this one is wrong. Most probable speed is maximum here, therefore the first condition is correct. And we know that most probable speed will be greater than the root mean square velocity, and greater than, sorry, not root mean square velocity, average than root mean. Okay, is greater than average velocity, which is greater than root mean square velocity. U, most probable speed, this one is the most probable speed is correct. But what about the average velocity? Here the average velocity is less and root mean square velocity is greater, therefore this one is the wrong. The first thing here, most probably speed is greater, but what about the average velocity? Average velocity and root mean square velocity are equal, which is not possible in the first. This one is the correct. Most probably speed. Average, here you can say MPS is greater than U average is greater than URMS. Therefore, this one is the correct answer. So, D option is the correct. In the next question, two masses M1 are suspended together by a massless spring of spring constant K. When the masses are in equilibrium, M1 is removed without distributing the system. Find the angular frequency of the oscillation of mass M2. So angular frequency is directly proportional to or you can say actually angular frequency will be equal to K upon M. If there was two masses, then M1 plus M2, if M1 is removed, hence angular frequency will be equal to K upon M2. Okay, therefore the correct answer is A. What we have in the next question? In the next question we have light of energy 2 electron volt falls on a metal of work function 1.4 electron volt. The stopping potential is, okay, now what we have to find out the stopping potential. Therefore the stopping potential will be equal to E upon small e, and we don't have the value of E. Now E can be defined as E is equal to kinetic energy will be equal to h nu minus work function. Okay, now what is given that here light of energy is given that 2 electron volt. Light of energy is given that 2 electron volt means h nu is given that 2 electron volt. Metal function W is given that 1.4 electron volt. Hence E will be equal to 2 electron volt minus 1 electron volt. Hence, sorry, 1.4. Hence, E will be equal to 0.6 electron volt. Okay, this is the value. Hence, stopping potential will be equal to Vs is equal to 0.6 electron volt divided by electron will be cancelled out, 0.6 volt. First option is the correct one. Okay, what in the next question we have? In the next question the level of water in tank is 5 meter high. Okay, so here is given that h is high. The whole of the area 10 centimeter square is made in the bottom of the tank. The rate of leakage of water from the hole is, okay, what will be the rate of leakage? So first thing, velocity of efflux v is equal to under root 2 gh. V is equal to, first thing we will calculate v is equal to under root 2 gh, and the volume of liquid flowing out per second is nothing but velocity into area. Okay, therefore what is asking? Leakage rate of leakage is nothing but velocity into area. Okay, so first thing we have to calculate velocity. Velocity means 2 into g is given that, no, not 10 into h5. okay, 10 into 10 means 100. Hence v is equal to 10 meter per second. What about the area? 10 centimeter square. Therefore a is equal to 10 centimeter square. Hence a is equal to 10 into 10 the power minus 4 meter square. Okay, 1 centimeter square means 10 the power minus 2. Hence squaring both sides, there will be equal to minus 10 the power 4. 10 into 10 the power 10 into area is 10 into 10 the power minus 4. Hence 10 the power minus 2 meter cube per second. 10 the power minus 2 meter cube per second. The first option is the correct one. What in the next question? In the next question, a prism has a refracting angle of 60 degree when placed in the position of minimum deviation. it produces a deviation of 30 degree. The angle of incidence is nothing but it can be defined I is equal to a plus deviation divided by 2. Okay, everything is given that a is given that 60, deviation is given that 30 divided by 2, hence E is equal to 60 plus 90 is equal to 45 degree. B option is the correct one. Okay. What in the next question? In the next question we have a solid sphere and hollow sphere of the same mass and radius are given a spin about their center of masses, and then they are placed on a rough horizontal surface. The spin angular velocity is the same for both the sphere and it's equal to omega naught. Once the pure rolling starts, let v1 and v2 be the linear speed of their center of mass. Then okay, here you can say that the velocity of hollow surface will always be greater than the velocity of sphere. Therefore, because moment of inertia of hollow is greater than moment of inertia sphere, so moment of inertia of hollow will be greater than moment of inertia greater than sphere. Okay, and we know that velocity can be defined as omega naught upon I by r plus mr. So here you can say that v2 is greater than v hollow is greater than v hollow is greater than v sphere. Therefore v2 is greater than v1. Okay, is there any option is correct? v2 is greater than v1. Okay, C option is correct. What is the next question? In the next question we have, if we add impurity to a metal, those atoms also deflect electrons. Therefore, okay, so you have to remember, if you are increasing the number of electrons, their number of collision increasing the thermal and electrical resistance. So if thermal and electrical resistance increases, then thermal conductivity as well as electrical conductivity both decreases. Now look toward the answer. The electrical and thermal conductivity is both increases. No, electrical and thermal conductivity will be decreases. Thermal and electrical and thermal conductivity will be decreases. This one is correct. Okay, therefore option B is correct. What in the next question we have? In the next question we have, two vessels separately contain two ideal gas A and B at same temperature, the pressure of A being twice that of B. Under such condition, the density of A is found to be 1.5 times the density of B, the ratio of molecular weight of A and B. Okay, so ratio of molecular weight means MA and MB. First thing we will write pressure PA will be equal to directly proportional to density PV is equal to nRT, directly proportional to RT, and that is RA and TA, but there is no change in R and T, and divided by MA, as we know that PV is equal to nRT. Okay, therefore PV is equal to nRT and V is equal to mass upon density. Hence P is equal to density upon mass into RT. Now in the same way, PB is equal to rho B RT upon MB. Now according to the question, PA upon PB, PA upon PB, if we will compare rho A and rho B, first thing what was given that PA upon PB, two vessels separately contain two ideal gas A and B, the same temperature, the pressure of A being twice. Okay, pressure of A being twice that of B means PA upon PB is equal to 2. According to the question, PA upon PB is equal to PA upon PB is equal to 2. First thing. Therefore, rho, rho A upon rho B RT will be cancelled out. MB upon MA. 2 will be equal to rho A upon rho B. Rho A upon rho B means 1.5 MB upon MA. Look at this one and twice this one. Okay, hence if you have to calculate MA upon MB, MA upon MB will be equal to 1.5 divided by 2. Okay, 1.5 divided by 2 means, therefore 15 upon 25 for the and 3. The correct answer is 3 by 4 is equal to 3 by 4. What is the next question? Which of the following physical quantities has neither dimension nor unit? Okay, so the first is given that angle. Which of the following physical quantities has neither dimension nor unit? So angle has the dimension. Second one is the luminous intensity. As we know that intensity is also had dimension. What about the friction? Friction is the ratio. Okay, therefore friction can be defined as applied force divided by normal reaction. So it is divided by force per force, hence it has no dimension or no unit. Current is also has dimension and unit.